another thing, I'm just going to ramble about doing a group ride. If you're the lead rider, then that's your thing, you're the lead rider. If you're not the lead rider, then you're not the lead rider. So if you're not the lead rider, then stay behind the lead rider. So I'm over here doing some Touratech rally riding, and somebody's riding with me, and they're just kind of being irresponsible. He will get right up beside of me, right in my blind spot, far enough back where I can't hear him, but close enough where I can't see him in the mirror. So I don't know if you can see now, but in my mirror there's an orange bike behind me. That's a good distance to ride. You're in a stagger formation. Well, sometimes this guy up ahead of me who passed me, he kept doing this yo-yo effect, going back and forth, back and forth. If he wants to ride behind me, then stay behind me. If I'm slowing down as the lead rider and somebody's kind of close to me, well, match my speed, slow down, don't pass me on the. And the other thing too is it's the whole ride right concept. Riding side by side on a dirt road is really irresponsible. It's just flat out dumb. So when riding in smaller groups, it's pretty common for riders to want to kind of stay in sort of a closer formation, but it's always a stagger formation. So the lead guy will ride on the right, the next guy behind will ride on the left, but he'll ride back, at least 20 feet, maybe a little bit further. So the key is, when people do that, stay back far enough where you have room to maneuver if need be, or if the lead rider shoots off to the left because of needing to dodge something, or because he hits a rock and deflects over. And it's also, there's this magical sweet spot where you're not going to be eating that person's dust. If you get back just a bit too far, then you're in their dust cloud. But then when you're on really rough stuff like this, you really can't ride in a stagger formation because it's just too rough, and there is no well-defined path on both sides of this road. But see, the problem that I started rambling about at the beginning of this video is the person that was behind me, he rides way too close behind me. He's more or less beside of me, but just barely behind me. And like I mentioned, oftentimes during this ride is that he is so close behind me that I don't know that he's behind me unless he toots his horn, or unless he's close enough where I can hear his bike. And it's super dangerous for him and for me, because if there's an oncoming vehicle, whether it's 2 or 4-wheeled, he has absolutely no place to go. He can't maneuver to the right because he's next to me, or so close behind me that unless he grabs a handful of brake, he's going to risk bumping me over to the right if he tries to go to the right and the other vehicle goes to their right, which would be, of course, to our left. And then this whole concept of doing this yo-yo thing, where I'll maybe just barely slow down, but then he'll go shooting past me. And then sometimes I have actually slowed down. I'm thinking, okay, so he passed me at a pretty good clip after I barely slowed down, so maybe he wants to be in front of me now. So I will just slow down and back way off. Well, then he'll slow down and back way off so that I get in front of him. I'm like, come on, quit playing this dumb little game. If you want to ride behind me, then stay behind me. Don't do this little nonsensical yo-yo game where you're bouncing back and forth from being beside of me to being behind me to being in front of me to being back beside of me and then behind me. And then, like I said earlier, ride right. If you're the lead rider, of course, you need to stay to the right side of the road. And if you're in a wide open road that has really good visibility and not a bunch of blind corners, then it's okay to do the little staggered formation to stay out of each other's dust cloud. It's pretty tough to do that with more than 2 riders, because the third rider, he's definitely going to be eating dust. But like this road I'm going up now, I let them get ahead of me because I just absolutely wouldn't have been able to see anything. So I guess that's today's episode of Ride and Ramble with Dual Sport Doug, is riding etiquette when you're riding with several people or with several other people around you. Another thing that I'll talk about real quick is that when you're riding in a group and you encounter other 2 or 4-wheel traffic, not necessarily 4-wheeled vehicles, because they may not totally know the whole concept of throwing up a hand signal to let the person you encountered know how many people are behind you. But ATV riders, UTV drivers, side-by-side drivers, and motorcyclists, most of them will know the whole concept of hand signal. So if I throw up 2 fingers, that's not a peace sign. That's to let the oncoming group know how many people are behind me. If there's 4 behind me, throw up a hand signal like this with your thumb tucked in. 3 riders, 3, 1 rider's 1. If you're the last guy in the group, do this, a closed fist. And don't do it as just a nonchalant wave like that off to the side of your mirror, because they will think you're just waving at them. And literally, that's what it would totally appear to be if you're coming towards a group and somebody does that to you. And when I encounter the lead rider in a group like that coming towards me and I give them the hand signal, they generally give me the hand signal, I'll slow down until I get past the entire group. Then I'll ramp it up to my normal pace. Whoa! That's an example of hitting something and getting shot off to the side. It's all the more reason somebody shouldn't be riding right next to me. This is always a fun little rip up this road. So I left off at hand signals. I think I pretty much covered that in fairly good detail. Another thing too is, if people are riding together that are maybe not totally equal skill level, and somebody says, hey, I'm kind of getting wore out, let's call it a day and not take any more hard stuff, then everybody else should follow suit. Don't coerce somebody into doing something that they're not up to doing. Whether you're out doing a trail ride and somebody says, hey, that's way above my skill level, or I'm not up to doing that today, don't coerce them and say, oh, well, it's shorter if we go this way on this trail instead of going 10 miles around on road. Because that could be that one time that somebody gets hurt. whether they're worn out or they're just not up to the challenge. I know that in, like, say, between about 18 and 20 years ago, I rode with a few people who were kind of new to off-road riding. They had, I think they had DRZs. And the friend that they used to go camping with, he pushed them harder than their capability. So I know that we ended up going on trails that we shouldn't have been on with a couple of those people because they just weren't quite up there yet as far as their skill level. So I always kind of felt bad. Miraculously, none of them ever got hurt. And I saw some incidents that it just blew me away that they didn't get hurt. So that's called the power of veto. Everybody in the group should have the power to veto and call it a day and head back to camp or whatnot. Don't let somebody else coerce the group into doing something that, even if it's just one person, doesn't want to do. I'm kind of riding a little bit slower pace here because we transition between a lot of shade and sun. It's a really good idea to have some sort of communication system between riders as well. Like voice communication. For a lot of years, me and a group of about 4 or 5 people ran an old school comm device called a chatterbox. It was made by HJC, which they also do helmets. It was originally, I think they were on their own radio band, but then they started a new version and it was on the FRS band, and eventually some of us upgraded to that FRS band. It actually had better range. And believe it or not, I still have that chatterbox system. I haven't used it in at least 10 years, probably closer to, no, it's been less than that. Probably about 8 or 9 years. And just a week ago, I started using a Cardo Pack Talk communicator. With just comms between 2 riders, you don't have really good range. It's more or less designed as a system to have a Bluetooth mesh arrangement where you're riding in a group of more than 2, and the lead rider can be quite a ways from the farthest back rider, and they all link together, and it's like sort of they set up a relay type system. Another friend group uses a mini GMRS FRS / ham radio setup. They're using the Baofeng UV5R. They'll have it in their backpack and with a set of speakers into their helmet, and then a microphone in the helmet, and then a push to talk button on their backpack, like their backpack strap or somewhere attached to their jacket or whatever, so they could just push that push to talk button when they want to talk. And now this guy is riding right off my flank again, so close that if I were sitting down, I would not see him in my blind spot, or in my mirror. I only know he's there because I heard him. Senna makes a communication system too. I don't have any experience with those, and I'm actually brand new to using the whole PackTalk or Cardo system. It's so much more compact than the Chatterbox. See, I can see his handguard in my mirror, and that's it. That is just so irresponsible. And there's some blind turns on this road. Okay, I can totally see him in my mirror. Even that is technically too close. He needs to be more than 10 feet behind me. Here's what I can. That didn't have the desired effect. I don't know if he's gonna get the hint. Go. Get in front of me if you want to be in front of me. So, he doesn't want to be in front of me. I saw his wheel come up right beside my shoulder. So now he just blatantly came ripping beside of me and past me. Okay, he's a good distance behind me now, sort of. Well, no, now he's not. Now he's completely in my blind spot. Can't even see his shadow, except just barely. We're coming up to, it's about 1.5 miles away or so yet, but Sugarloaf Lookout. See, he won't stay behind me as I slow down. Now he thinks I want to race. So he caught right up to me again. Now he's poking along because he wants me in front. It's just irresponsible riding is all it is. So this is probably 20 to 25 feet or so. This is an okay distance. You shouldn't follow anybody closer than that. But see, this idiotic behavior is it now that he's in front, he still insists on riding on the left side of the road. That is also totally irresponsible. I don't know if he just wants to have a head-on collision with somebody or what. Okay. See ya. If you don't want to be in the lead, then stay behind me.